Some things you cannot unsee, some things you cannot unhear, and some things follow you home. 3 teenagers, 3 different nights, 3 encounters that changed their lives forever. All from the same state, California. And if you are listening to this alone, you might want to turn a light on. Story 1. This is the story of Ryan, a 17-year-old from Los Angeles, California, and what he saw in the basement of an abandoned house on a dare. Something that looked at him, something that smiled, and something that was standing outside his bedroom window that same night on the 2nd floor. My name is Ryan. I am 17 years old. I live in Los Angeles. I play basketball. I hang out with my friends on weekends. I am not someone who scares easily. At least, I wasn't. This happened 8 months ago. I still sleep with the lights on. My mum thinks it's a phase. It is not a phase. It was a Friday night in March. 6 of us were hanging out in the neighborhood with nothing to do. Someone brought up the old Mercer house, an abandoned property on the edge of our street. Boarded up windows, overgrown yard. Nobody had lived there for over 20 years. The dare was simple. Go into the basement, stay for 5 minutes, come back out. I went in first, because I was stupid, because I wanted to look brave in front of everyone. The front door was already open, just slightly, like someone had left it that way on purpose. I pushed it open and went inside. The smell hit me first. Damp, old. Something underneath it that I still cannot describe. Not rotting, not chemical, just wrong. I found the basement door at the end of the hallway. Wooden steps, no railing, pure darkness below. I turned on my phone flashlight and went down. The basement was empty. Concrete floor, bare walls, a single rusted chair in the corner. I checked my phone, started the 5-minute timer. I stood there in the silence. 1 minute passed. 2 minutes. At 3 minutes, I heard breathing. Not mine, coming from the corner behind the chair. I pointed my flashlight there. There was a girl, crouched in the corner behind the chair, maybe my age, dark hair covering her face, arms wrapped around her knees, completely still. I thought she was another kid on a dare, someone who had gotten there before me. "Hey," I said, "you okay?" She slowly lifted her head and moved the hair away from her face. She had no eyes, just smooth skin where her eyes should have been. And she was smiling. I do not remember running up the stairs. I do not remember bursting through the front door. My friends told me later that I came out screaming and did not stop for 2 full minutes. They thought I was joking until they saw my face. We went home. I told myself it was a prank, someone in a mask, a Halloween costume, something rational, something that made sense. I almost believed it. Until 2 in the morning. I woke up for no reason. My room was dark. My phone was dead. The house was silent. And then I heard it. Tapping. Slow, rhythmic, patient, coming from my window. I am on the 2nd floor. There is no tree near my window, no fire escape, no ledge, nothing that anyone could stand on. I pulled my blanket up, told myself it was a branch, wind, my imagination. the tapping stopped. I looked at the window. She was there, outside my second-floor window, hair covering her face, tapping with one finger on the glass. And slowly, she moved the hair away. I screamed so loud, my parents ran in from down the hall. They turned on the lights. The window was empty, but on the glass, on the outside of my second-floor window, were 5 finger marks. Fresh, clear, like someone had just pressed their hand against it. I have not opened that window since, and every night at 2 in the morning, I hear tapping. Story 2. This is the story of Jade, a 16-year-old from San Francisco, California, and what followed her home from her school's abandoned auditorium. Something that sat in the back row every night for a week. Something that only she could see. And something that finally sat next to her on her own bed. My name is Jade. I am 16 years old. I go to a performing arts school in San Francisco. I love theater. I spend a lot of time in the school auditorium after hours rehearsing alone. I used to love the quiet of that place. I don't anymore. Our school auditorium was built in the 1940s. Old wooden seats, a big heavy curtain, high ceiling that swallows sound in a strange way. Beautiful, historic, and apparently not empty. It started on a Monday evening. I was alone on stage, running lines for the spring production. The house lights were dim. The auditorium stretched out in front of me in near darkness. I was halfway through my monologue when I noticed it. Someone was sitting in the back row. I stopped, squinted into the darkness. A figure, sitting perfectly still, watching me. I assumed it was a teacher or another student. "Hello?" I called out. "Auditorium is closed for rehearsal." No response. No movement. I went back to my lines, figured they would leave. 10 minutes later, I looked up again. The figure was still there, in the exact same position, not having moved a single inch. I packed my bag and left quickly. I told myself it was nothing. A coat left on a seat, shadows playing tricks. Tuesday evening, same time, same seat. The figure was there again. Wednesday, there. Thursday, there. Every single evening, back row, center seat, completely still, watching me rehearse. On Friday, I brought a friend, Maya. I asked her to sit in the audience while I rehearsed and tell me if she saw anyone in the back row. I went on stage, started my monologue. 2 minutes in, I looked at Maya. She was looking at me, not at the back row, just at me. After rehearsal, I asked her, "Did you see anyone sitting in the back row?" Maya looked confused. "No," she said. "It was empty the whole time. Just us." I looked at the back row. The figure was there, sitting right behind where Maya had been sitting, looking directly at me. And Maya could not see it at all. That weekend, I stayed home. Saturday night, midnight. I woke up from a dead sleep. My room was cold, much colder than it should have been. I lay completely still and stared at the ceiling. And then the mattress shifted. The way it shifts when someone sits down on the edge of your bed. I turned my head. The figure from the auditorium was sitting on the edge of my bed, in the dark, facing away from me, just sitting there, like it was waiting. I could not scream, could not move, could not breathe. We stayed like that for what felt like hours, and then, slowly, it turned its head toward me. I passed out. When I woke up, it was morning. My room was warm again. Everything looked normal, except my bedroom door, which had been closed when I went to sleep, was now wide open. I have not rehearsed alone since, and I have not sat in the back row of any theater, not once, because I know now that something might already be sitting there. Story 3. This is the story of Marcus, an 18-year-old from San Diego, California, and what he photographed on the beach at midnight. Something that appeared in every single picture standing just behind him. Something with no face. And something that knocked on his front door at 3 in the morning, wearing his face. My name is Marcus. I am 18 years old. I live 2 blocks from the beach in San Diego. I got into photography last year. Long exposure shots at night, the ocean, the pier, the empty boardwalk. I loved going out alone at midnight with my camera, past tense. This was 4 months ago, a clear night in October, low tide. The beach was completely empty, just the sound of the waves and the distant lights of the city. I set up my tripod at the water's edge and started shooting. Long exposure shots, 30 seconds each, watching the light trails from the stars blur into the frame. I shot for about an hour. When I got home, I uploaded everything to my laptop, and I went through the photos one by one. The first 10 were perfect. The 11th made me stop. In the background of the shot, standing maybe 20 feet behind where I had been, was a figure, tall, thin, standing completely still during the entire 30-second exposure, which meant it had not moved a single muscle for 30 full seconds. I zoomed in. The figure had no face, just a smooth, blank oval where a face should have been. I told myself it was a long exposure blur, a trick of the light, a stranger walking by who had been captured strangely on camera. I scrolled to the next photo. The figure was closer. Same posture, no face, but closer. Next photo. Closer. Next photo. It was standing directly behind me, so close it could have touched my shoulder, and I had not seen it, had not heard it, had not felt it. For an entire hour on an empty beach, something had been standing right behind me, getting closer with every shot. I slept with every light on that night. At 3 in the morning, there was a knock at the front door. 3 knocks, slow, deliberate. My parents were asleep. I was the only one awake. I looked through the peephole. Someone was standing at my door. My height, my build, my hoodie, my shoes. But when they looked up at the peephole, it was my face, but wrong, like a copy made by someone who had only seen a photograph. Almost right, almost. It smiled with my mouth and knocked again. I backed away from the door and did not sleep for 2 days. In the morning, there was nothing outside. No one, nothing, except my camera, which I had left inside on my desk, was sitting on the front doorstep, facing the door, with one new photo on it, taken from outside, of me looking through the peephole. 3 teenagers, 3 nights, 3 things that should not exist. And yet, Ryan still hears tapping at 2 in the morning. He never looks at the window anymore. Jade transferred schools, but last week she told me something sitting in the back row of her new school auditorium, center seat. And Marcus deleted every photo from that night, except he told me one keeps coming back every time he opens his camera roll. The same photo. The figure on the beach, getting closer. California is beautiful. The beaches, the lights, the endless summer nights. But some nights, something else is out there, standing just behind you, getting closer with every step. And the worst part, you won't hear it coming. Good night.